Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott. That's Lauren.
It is.
Hello, Lauren. How are you today?
I'm okay. How are you?
Quite tolerable, actually.
Quite tolerable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Instagram, you'll search Wilder Show Pod. You'll find us there if you want to send us email. Email to podcast@wildershow.com. The Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time, everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those. Also on the TikTok now and again. Wherever you get your podcasts, we're requesting that you like, rate, follow, subscribe, share, engage us. If you would, we appreciate that. Lots of comments. Comments on your Axe spray thing you did last time.
Yeah.
Got one comment saying, I teach a class at the church and I go to the second floor and it still smells like Axe body spray.
Where the 5th and 6th grade boys hang out, and the Axe body spray smell just sort of hangs in the air like a cloud. Used to be my house.
Kind of endures. We'll talk a little Guthrie. We'll talk a little Hillary and Bill. That's kind of tied together, actually.
Okay.
As we sort of alluded to last time. State of the Union address. We'll say a word about that.
All right.
First, the Guthrie thing. I think we're being gaslit on something.
How so?
First of all, you know, we opined weeks ago that the video, we don't know that video came from that night. We were told that video came from the night that she was, quote, abducted. And we were told that's when that was from. And here's this guy. And for reasons we have already expressed, we won't go over them again, though I think you should hear them. So go back and listen to, I think, episode 119. In any case, we don't buy it. We just don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy that it came from that night. Don't buy it for the reasons that we talked about. Now we're being told, just in the last few days, that there is one of those images we were shown early on. Oh, that image doesn't have the guy wearing his holster or his backpack. Let me tell you something. There is no way that was released. The most viewed video or stills that have been released in the last 20 years. And everybody looked at it and nobody said, hey, in that one, the guy's not wearing the backpack. What I'm trying to say is that image has been slipped in. There is no way. There is no way.
Yeah.
That was part of the original tranche of things. But that's not even the main point I want to make. The sheriff, and you I think rightly have wondered if there's a bit of, I don't say incompetence, but maybe they've overlooked some things in the investigation. Closing the crime scene, opening it again, closing the crime scene again, opening it a third time. Now, even this last couple of days, folks have been there again, FBI and others on the scene. And you've wondered about whether the sheriff could use help. Is that fair to say it that way?
Yes. Well, and I mean, I can't claim all of that for my own. I've read some things too that suggest maybe they just weren't they weren't ready for something of this magnitude.
Weren't up to it.
Yeah.
I mean, part of that is something we'll talk about in a second. I mean, they even say that in a different way. But one of the things said this week, some of those reports that, hey, one of these images, that's not from the same night. Now, I want you to listen to what the sheriff said. In response to that, the sheriff said this, and this was news. He had never said this before. We opined, we believed it was the case, but he had never said it out loud. The sheriff said, those videos don't have timestamp. And here's the point he's trying to make. So anyone saying that one of these came from a different time, that would be pure speculation. Okay, let me pull that apart for a second. If I were the reporter, and I can't believe no one asked the sheriff this. If I were the reporter, I would have immediately said this. Wait a minute. If they don't have timestamps, and you were saying we can't then conclude that this other one is from some other time, how can we conclude that this one you've told us is from that night was actually from that night? How could we conclude that if there are no timestamps? That is a bit of lack of sophistication, if I may, on the part of the sheriff. The sheriff is trying to defend that those all came from the same night. And in a way of trying to defend that, he's saying, hey, listen, there's no timestamp on this. So anybody saying they know that came from some other night, they can't tell you that. That's speculation. To which a good reporter would have said, then why isn't all of this speculation?
Right.
Boom, really mic drop.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't say that. I think since last we sat down, Savannah Guthrie put out another video. And in that video, she offered $1 million for information returning her mother. Mm-hmm. In that video, she talked about, sadly, obviously, maybe she's already gone forever. But my question is, why did they start with $25,000 and then bump it up to $50,000 when it was urgent to find the woman who doesn't get around easily and has medication that she needs on a daily basis and has a pacemaker? Why don't you go big early?
You mean like, what do they know now maybe that they didn't know then?
I'm just saying.
That would inspire such a hike in the number?
No, actually, what I'm saying is that seems odd. Why wouldn't you put $1 million out first? And the family was asked that. And the family said, we had this idea early on, but we were told by law enforcement that it would overwhelm the system. They would have
so many tips.
Yeah. Didn't President Trump say, we will give you anything you need? You need extra operators, we'll give you extra operators. You need anything. Whatever you need, we'll give it to you. That just doesn't make any sense. That would be sort of pointing towards some sort of I don't say incompetence, but maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't understand, why would you even now offer $1 million unless they think maybe she's alive? Of course, I believe if she's alive, this will not be resolved until after today. And we'll get to the reason why we alluded to that last time. And by the way, we talked about Mark Feldman. Mark Feldman is the mass communications expert, crisis management guy that is the husband of Savannah Guthrie.
Right.
And in addition to the $1 million, Savannah Guthrie said, we know we're just one family, but we know that there are thousands of people that go missing all the time. And we also would like to donate $500,000 to the Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Does that sound like a little bit of crisis management?
Sure.
If you're going to give $1 million to find your mom, here we are 4 weeks in or whatever it is, you probably better make a donation to this other thing. That's a Mark Feldman fingerprint or somebody making that case that if you can do this, you got to do this other stuff too. We've said it now, I don't know how many times, maybe almost 10 times, 8 times. We've said by the time you hear this may have been resolved, but I don't think so. Hey, if you want to go see The Seven Wonders, that's a tribute to Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, yeah?
That is coming. I think it's maybe $40. Yeah, $40, something like that. Coming to the Chap Pack in March. That's 8 to 9:30. And then on the 18th, if you want to see what's called Echoes of the Eagles, that's coming to Chap Pack. It's billed as the Eagles, the #1 Eagles tribute for vocal harmonies. Echoes of the Eagles is the hottest tribute band out there today.
Okay.
With their youthful exuberance and high energy performance that has pushed them to the top of the pack. So if you want to do that, I think that is also maybe $70 if you want to go see that. But the thing going on today at the Chappaqua
at the Chap Pack,
the Chappaqua Performing Arts Center, is what happened yesterday, which was the Clintons testifying.
I was waiting for you to tie that up.
You can't buy tickets. Though they might be as good as those coming up in March and April. Hillary gave an opening statement yesterday. This is all about the Epstein file. And in her opening statement, she accused the panel of engaging in partisan fishing expeditions, forcing her and her husband to sit for depositions. Said, hey, you are interviewing the wrong people. Here's what she wrote. This was part of her opening statement. You have compelled me to testify, fully aware I have no knowledge that would assist your investigation in order to distract attention from President Trump's actions and cover them up despite legitimate calls for answers. If this committee is serious about learning the truth about Epstein's trafficking crimes, it would not rely on press gaggles to get answers from our current president on his involvement. It would ask him directly under oath about the tens of thousands of times he shows up in the Epstein files. That's a pretty good, hey, look over there. Don't you think?
I do.
But you know what? There's so many reasons to talk to her and to her husband, sworn testimony, just giving a written statement of, I didn't know, I did not have. I mean, there's a reason why we've had to parse words, right? When she says,
who taught us to do that?
That's right, the hubby. He did. Depends on the meaning of the word is. So when she says things like, I have never spoken to any of the people you've been asking about. Now, what does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means specifically she has not spoken to any of the people that they're asking about. Mm-hmm. Are there any ways to communicate with people without speaking to them?
Sure.
Sure. You could text them. You could email them. You could speak through an emissary.
Have somebody else talk to them. Yeah.
I talk to so-and-so. They talk to them. Mm-hmm. They talk to so-and-so. That person talks back to me. So then you have all the funding of the Clinton Global Initiative. A lot of people have wondered about the monies that come to the Clinton Global Initiative. Where did the money come from? Jeffrey Epstein famously said, I was the first to raise money for the Clinton Global Initiative. Mm. Bill Clinton flew on his plane, according to reports, at least 17 times. That would be a little odd if she had no contact ever with Epstein. Never. How about Ghislaine Maxwell, who, by the way, attended their daughter's wedding? She was at their daughter's wedding. Mm-hmm. Was she invited? Did she come as a plus one? Whose plus one was she? Do you know her? Have you ever spoken to her? I mean, arguably, if you can't talk to Epstein, which we're told he's obviously dead, and you can't talk to him, you can still talk to her and find out from Ghislaine Maxwell what was her tie, if any, to the Clintons. Anyway, but once you get people under oath, it becomes really interesting. And to be sure, you can go on fishing expeditions. Absolutely. Since we have you here, what is your answer to whatever it is? Now, remember that timeline. They said, we're not going to do it. They were subpoenaed. They said, we're not going to do it. Mm-hmm. The Epstein files, the 3 million plus the videos and whatnot were released on the 30th of January. The next day, Savannah Guthrie's mom was abducted.
Right.
2 days later, the next weekday, on Monday, that happened on a Sunday morning or a Saturday night, Sunday morning. On Monday, the Clintons said, okay, we'll testify. Sure. We'll testify. No problem. Interesting timing. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mm-hmm. So we'll see about all this, but it's tragic. I can't imagine her mom is alive. If her mom is alive, she will have never seen the abductor. The abductor would have kept their identity from her the whole time. She also said, Savannah Guthrie said something interesting in her piece. She said, from that time, I think I'm quoting, my mother was taken from her bed in the middle of the night.
Oh, she did say
that? She did. That's in the latest thing that she said. So what she says is taken from her bed. And that's news. That I think you could assume that if it's the middle of the night that she was taken from her bed, mm-hmm. but nobody, assuming is a bad idea. Yeah. It's an investigation. It's a puzzle. You don't assume it. Mm-hmm. If Hillary says, I've never spoken to those people, we assume you've had no contact. Don't assume.
Right.
Just go by what actually is said. Look at the meaning of the words. Taken from the middle of the night. Maybe, maybe not. They don't have videotape of her being taken in the middle of the night. But when she says taken from her bed, that might mean there is some evidence in there that something, maybe that's where they found that DNA. Mm-hmm. That it turns out is too degraded, we're told now, 4 weeks in, to be put into CODIS. Wow. Really? I think they're kicking the can down the road until they can tell us something. But the one thing that I think I hold to is that video. I don't believe that video is from that night. I believe that video is a casing video. That guy was not there to do harm on that night. He saw the camera and the placement of the camera surprised him. Why don't we have him ripping that camera off? They know exactly when the camera was taken, but we don't have any video of that. Doesn't make sense. And now we still don't have video of any of the other cameras or any other video from that camera. Here we are 4 weeks in. We have no more video at all from any of the cameras.
So what do you think it all exists somewhere and we're just not seeing it because it points to something that somebody doesn't want us to see? Or
I don't have this let me tell you things they don't want you to know sort of mentality.
Yeah.
I just think I'm just as Candace would say, I'm just asking questions. I mean, I really am just asking questions.
Yeah.
How can we know it's from that night? Now, the sheriff says what we already have talked about. There's no timestamp. If there's no timestamp, and that's why you are sort of arguing back, anyone who says that some of these are not from the same night, they don't know what they're talking about because there's no timestamp. That would just be speculation. Okay, Mr. Sheriff, getting all uppity and all, let me ask you this. Then why isn't it all speculation? Which I believe it is.
Yeah.
Now, if they had shown us, if that first tranche, the only tranche of videos and stills, if they had shown that camera being yanked off the wall, we would know that's when that happened. Yanked it off the wall, that's when it's detached. Boom. That is from that night. That is a person that we can say reasonably might be the person that went in the house. Mm-hmm. Frankly, we don't know that wasn't taken off the front door from the inside. We don't know if someone who was already in the house didn't open that front door, reach around, and yank it right off. In which case, that would be a very different visual, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. If the video exists, and if that video exists with someone from the inside ripping that camera off. That might be a reason why you don't want to show that. Now, there are investigative reasons why people don't show everything they know. I got that. We know that. At least, Lauren, when I'm trying to solve a crime. I don't tell everything I know. I leave a little bit back. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's the case with some of this stuff, but it doesn't make sense. I don't think you kidnap an 84-year-old woman, with all due respect to all octogenarians. I don't believe you kidnap an 84-year-old woman, except for maybe 3 reasons. 1, for money.
Yeah.
Which I don't believe that. I think all those requests for money were either false flags or they were just people trying to make money off of a tragedy. People
those
who
always seemed kind of suspect to me.
For me, they were, or as I say, they were real sus. So you do either for money or you do it for revenge, in which case you don't really have to keep her. If you're doing something for revenge to get back at Savannah or somebody else, then maybe you already harm her. Or the third reason, which is what I think. Yeah. You do it for leverage. That's why. You do it for leverage. I was watching a thing the other day. It was one of those, shows like Dateline or whatever. And it was a thing where the man's family had been kidnapped. And the man was told, you have to go rob the bank where you work. Okay. So they're not kidnapping the family because they're mad at him. No. It is technically for money, but it mainly is for leverage. They're using that for leverage to make him do something he wouldn't normally do. Or in the case of other cases, to not do what maybe you should do. Yeah. To not say what you know about this or that or the other. Anyway, tying these two things together, the former president's testimony, Bill Clinton's testimony, should be concluded at the end of today. Now, because they give testimony, when someone says, I'll be glad to give testimony, you'll give testimony under oath? Absolutely. Absolutely. I will answer every question you have. Under oath? Under oath. Absolutely. But what if half of those are, I plead the fifth? Those are answers. Yeah. You're giving testimony under oath, under oath. That's your testimony. My testimony is, I'm not giving you testimony. My testimony is, I'm going to, upon the advice of counsel and consistent with the rights given to me in the Constitution, under the Fifth Amendment, I respectfully refuse to answer. That is an answer. So, a couple of things, obviously, that we're still watching. The State of the Union address. Okay, now we sort of were talking about this last time, seeing what we could expect. Yeah. The president said it's going to be the longest, it's going to be a really long speech. I have many things that I've done successfully. We're going to review all of my
longest
successes.
one the world has ever seen.
Yeah, that's the likes of which the world has never seen. And actually it was. It was the likes of which the world has never seen. It was very long. It was 1 hour and 47 minutes, I think. But let me say this. I think for the most part, he stayed on script. I do. He is a showman. And the State of the Union address is a media event. Mm-hmm. He's good at media events. I think he rose to the occasion in this way. Now, you can't get all the Trump out of Trump. He's going to be himself in some of this stuff. And he did, and he was. But he set the Democrats up, and all they did was take the bait. Ilhan Omar screaming from her chair back at him. I mean, over and over and over again. Free speech. Okay, free speech. Fine. But I miss the decorum days.
Oh, yeah.
I wish we had a situation like it seems like we used to in olden times. And by the way, Republicans were the first to do this. Republicans saying liar to Barack Obama. Mm-hmm. And then guess what? Katie barred the door after that. I mean, the genie's out of the bottle. You're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to hold up signs. We're going to do this, all these different things that people do. I hate it. Just go. If you don't agree with it, you sit there. You'll have your response following this. Don't worry about it. You didn't win the election. Elections have consequences. Your girl would be up there if you guys had done your job. You didn't do your job. She wasn't elected. This guy was elected. That's the way it goes. That's the way it went when it was Barack Obama. That's the way it went when it was Bill Clinton. That's the way it went when it was Jimmy Carter or anyone else.
Sure.
I thought that it didn't change many people's opinions, though I did see even a CNN poll said that people that were on the fence were a little more warm to Donald Trump, especially about immigration. Uh-huh. Maybe not about the ICE and all that kind of stuff, but the border, taking care of the border. Yeah. That's a winning argument for him. Erica Kirk was there, and you have the fight over who's going to stand and who's going to sit. And I hate this because it seems obvious. Like we had the little black kid last year that beat cancer,
right?
And no Democrats could stand and be excited that this kid had beat cancer.
Yeah, I don't get that.
You had the mother of the girl that was stabbed on the train by a guy who, it wasn't illegal, but by a guy who should not have been out on parole. It was no cash bond. And he's out. He should have been in jail. He wasn't in jail. He killed her. He knifed her in the train. This is a family that fled war-torn Ukraine. You have the mother who is genuinely mourning.
Mm-hmm. Not performative at all.
Not performative at all. I mean, she is genuinely mourning, and she is there in the gallery. I think she was sitting right next to Erica Kirk. Mm. And Democrats can't stand. They can't stand up and support that woman. It's at that time when Trump said, these people are crazy.
Yeah.
You should be ashamed of yourself staying seated. Now you can say, well, that's not very presidential to say. Yeah, I agree. You know what else? The other stuff going on in the room is not where it should be too. And like it or not, this president's not going to take it. He's going to actually fire back. He's going to say, these people are crazy.
Well, they know that too, don't they?
Oh,
I mean, they know they're pushing buttons.
Sure, yeah. Both sides are pushing buttons.
Sure.
But I'll tell you something else. You know what? The picture of Democrats sitting on their hands and not showing support for a woman whose daughter was murdered, that is the kind of stuff that can go viral. That's the kind of stuff that can be put in campaign ads in, if not 2026, can be put in for 2028. People who hate him, hated him and hated it. People who love him, loved him, and loved it. Those in the middle, it seems like they were persuadable on some things and just, I believe, rather objectively, because I'm critical of him plenty. I thought he did much better than I thought he would do. The elements were in there of a 100-year-old guy that was in World War II and somebody else who was the helicopter pilot that rescued people from the
Camp Mystic.
The Camp Mystic. He's honored. Somebody else is honored. Somebody else lost their legs in some other helicopter rescue. Okay. All those elements were there. And it's almost like, I would say God and country. I'm probably take some slings and arrows for this, but I don't expect a lot of God in the God and country thing for that. I'm not uncomfortable if God isn't put out there a whole bunch. I thought he did a decent job. He basically found a way to include Erica Kirk, and so he had to bring up Charlie and Faith and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's all he did out of an hour and 47 minutes. It wasn't a bunch of, if you're American, you'll have to be this religion, or if you are this religion, you have to vote this party. Mm-hmm. I'm really uncomfortable with all of that talk. But it was a lot of America. I mean, a lot of things to be proud of, being proud of our military, being proud of the men's hockey team, being proud of all those things. I think he had all the elements in there for a good event. And it is performative. It is also aspirational. It is not just about the way things are. It's about the way you want things to be. You start with the state of our union is strong, and people go crazy. And then you talk about the different things. It's strong because of this, and it's strong because of that. But I miss the days when people could view things and stand for them or stand against them based on the things themselves. I mean, I remember a day when Democrats give a standing ovation for cracking down on illegals in the workplace, adding more border patrol, doubling deportation of criminals, outlawing welfare used by illegals. I remember those days.
Well, we did have the people who were in favor of that standing. They've just changed they've changed their views on a lot of that. They say they have, but the truth is that was 1995, and that was Bill Clinton. And the truth is what we talked about before. They're not opposed to it because they want illegals to flood this nation. They're opposed to it because Donald Trump is saying it. I mean, if we went back in time, I promise you, if we went back and looked at, but it's a short life, we're not going to go back and look at the 1995 State of the Union address. But if we did, on those standing ovations, you would have found Republicans standing too. Mm-hmm. You would not have found Republicans sitting on their hands. Why? Because, at least at that time, Republicans could acknowledge what is true and what is right and what is good, irrespective of the person that is sharing that with you. Democrats can't do that. They can't, and they won't do that. They won't stand for kids that have beaten cancer if the guy that acknowledges them is Donald Trump. They won't stand to support a woman who fled war-torn Ukraine with her daughter, and her daughter, after her job at the pizza place, gets on a train and then is stabbed to death because somebody who should have been behind bars is not behind bars. They can't stand up in support for that grieving mother because Donald Trump asked them to. And there was a part in there where he said, you may have, it may have been later than you were watching, but there was a part in there where he said, stand up if you support this phrase. And here was the phrase: the first obligation of elected officials is to protect and defend American citizens. I did hear that.
Not illegal aliens.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't stand. Now, either they didn't stand because they don't believe that, or you can't believe them about what they do and do not believe. So either they have a rather traitorous view that they don't think that the first obligation is to protect and defend U.S. citizens, which that would be tragic, or they are lying about that, in which case, why would you believe them anyway?
Right.
Anyway, I miss the days of civility. I miss the days of decorum. I miss the days when nobody shouted out at the president. And frankly, I miss the days when presidents didn't shout back at them. Mm. I miss those days. But on a positive note, the State of the Union address was one of my favorite kinds of things. It was the common experience. People were watching the same thing at the same time from different places. The Olympics were a common experience.
That's right.
The State of the Union address is a common experience. The elections will be a common experience. Anyway, I miss the days of civility. We're doing our part, though, here, Lauren.
We're pretty civil.
On the air.
On mic, yeah.
Oh, it is time for Scattershoot.
Let's go.
Wilder Show Scattershoot. All right. I have one thing, Lauren, for you as we begin the Wilder Show Scattershoot. I did something today I don't do very often.
What's that?
Been a while since I've done this. I went to McDonald's.
Oh.
And I have a review of a new item.
They have something new at
They
McDonald's?
have several new things at McDonald's.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I went to a McDonald's. And I don't if you had told me years ago that would ever be something I would say, I wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah, is that right?
There was a long period of my life where I think I was at McDonald's close to every day. If for nothing else,
Kids.
I was going to say a large Diet Coke.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That was just part of my drive to work every single day. And more often than not, it included maybe some fries, maybe a cheeseburger,
yeah.
maybe both.
It's all good.
Not so much anymore.
You know, they lost me, McDonald's did, on just going by for a drink when they stopped using styrofoam cups.
Yeah, I know that was a tough thing for you.
It is. Yeah, styrofoam cups, that's everything. It's Texas, 1,000 degrees outside.
Yeah.
You need to give me hey, you know what? Thanks for the plastic or the paper cup. I really don't. Could you give me a paper straw? Something that dissolves immediately? That'd be great. Thank you.
You could have your own styrofoam cup.
Yeah, I do. I saved some.
Yeah.
Just in case. Carry them around. The Big Arch.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
No.
The McDonald's Big Arch.
What is it?
It's sometimes referred to as McArch. It's their new biggest burger. And that's what I ate.
McArch.
I didn't eat all of it. I must tell you.
Okay, so the biggest burger before the McArch, what would that have been, a quarter pounder, or is it a Big Mac?
Well, I mean, you can get the double quarter pounder with cheese, that kind of stuff, which
wow.
is that's kind of crazy.
Okay.
The double quarter pounder with cheese, I guess you could get that. But as a normal order, probably the Big Mac was the big burger.
Yeah.
And so this is like the Big Mac's big brother.
Okay.
Let me tell you what's on it.
Yeah.
It is a new, larger burger. It features 2 quarter-pound beef patties.
Okay.
3 slices of white cheddar cheese. Crispy and also raw onions. So
what, crispy raw onions?
No, crispy like fried onions, and then separately
and raw.
Yep, separately.
Wow. Okay.
Also pickles, lettuce, and what they say is their new tangy Big Arch sauce.
Okay.
It's on a toasted sesame and poppy seed bun. So that's it.
Well, it sounds wonderful.
Well, I ordered it, but with only 1 slice of cheese.
Okay.
I didn't want 3 slices.
That's the only change you made.
Yep. And I ate it, but I couldn't eat it all. It's just too much. You know that in one sitting, I don't eat like large portions of things. I might eat like 7 times a day, but I don't eat like a whole bunch of. I look at
more
people's
of a grazer.
Yeah, I look at people's plates and I think, how can they eat all that? How can they eat all of that? How can you eat, 3 enchiladas and rice and beans and a tamale after chips and salsa and queso?
That is a lot.
And sopapillas.
Sounds really good, though.
Let's go. So here's my review. I did not find it very tasty.
No?
I really didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't find it tasty. It's a lot of meat. If you like meat, you'll probably like it. I didn't think that the sauce was not. It's been a while since I've had a Big Mac, but I do like, I think, the sauce on a Big Mac better.
What's it like? What is it?
The burger or the sauce?
No, the sauce. Can you compare it to anything?
They say it's a combination of like mayonnaise, pickles, and ketchup. I didn't really find it to be that.
Okay.
It's like, cane sauce is really good.
Cane sauce is good.
I mean, if you had a burger with cane sauce, that would be pretty good, I think.
That
maybe.
Seems to me sort of closer to the
Big Mac sauce.
Big Mac sauce, maybe.
Yeah, Big Mac sauce, though, I think it's a little chunky in that it has some relish in it. Anyway, I thought the meat was good. It didn't appear to be frozen. It looked like it was fresh, but who knows? The cheese was fine, cheddar cheese. It didn't fall apart. I kind of expected it's so large. I thought this is not going to make it. And I probably got all but about maybe a quarter of it left.
Did you get fries with it?
I didn't because
No?
In fact, I didn't get a drink either. I just got the burger.
Really?
It's very expensive.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. How much it set you back?
I think the burger alone. I'm embarrassed to say this, but just sort of if you're going to go out, take your date out and decide you're going to not drive through, you're going to eat it there. I think the burger was $7.99.
Wow.
But it is a full half pound of beef.
Yeah.
And
I
it
can see
appears to
that.
be beef, but it was fine. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have it again? Probably not.
Uh-huh.
This says it is a tangier flavor profile than the Big Mac sauce. I didn't find that to be true, and I it could have used some salt. The whole thing was not very seasoned.
Uh-huh.
The burger. I'll tell you something else. One of the reasons. Well, first of all, I don't think I invented the McDouble, but I used to always order a double cheeseburger with only one slice of cheese.
Mm-hmm.
If I was going to get a double cheeseburger, because they're small, the McDonald's double cheeseburgers are small. I want a little more meat, but I didn't want more cheese.
Okay.
So I said, look, give me a double cheeseburger, but only one slice of cheese.
So high maintenance.
Well, I know. And then the girl at the drive-thru said at that time, she said, we're now calling that the McDouble. So I was ordering that before there was an item.
Yeah.
It was an off-menu item.
Uh-huh.
Off-menu. At McDonald's. Off-menu. I really like the McFlurry, but I'm thinking, could you perhaps... So that's my review. It was tested in Canada and the UK, also Ireland. I think it's really rolling out wide, I think, on March the 3rd.
Okay, that's pretty soon.
But actually I was at the drive-thru. I didn't see it on the thing, and I wasn't going to just get a burger.
Mm-hmm.
I was going there for that purpose. And so I drove up. There was somebody behind me. I thought, I'm just going to ask. I said, do you guys have the McArch? And she said, yes. And I said, okay, then that's what I'll have, but I only want, one slice of cheese.
Well, thanks for testing that for us.
It was okay. It was okay. It was, I've seen some people reviewing it, and they may be paid people to do that.
Yeah. I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah, they've got some other things that are new.
Like what?
Hold on. They have the Hot Honey McCrispy.
Hot honey's good.
Mm-hmm. That's a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Bacon Hot Honey McCrispy.
Yeah.
And then they have the Hot Honey Snack Wrap.
Okay, so I guess...
Those are chicken.
The chicken. Okay,
chicken
that makes
things.
sense. Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the new Hot Honey lineup.
Okay.
Let's see what else they have. New drinks. They have some new drinks, new beverage options, including those from the Cosmax spinoff. They have some fraps. They have some
frappes. I think you say frappe.
Was that right? They have some of those, and they have refreshers. They have cold brews. Are rolling all those out. So there you go.
Okay, very good. I had a food thought. I mentioned that I haven't eaten at McDonald's in a long time.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to eat a little bit better, which, somebody might look at my diet and think, that's not really that good. But compared to what it used to be,
no, I think
it's a lot.
Good, yeah.
It's a lot better than it used to be. I was walking past my neighborhood elementary school yesterday, and being in elementary school, sometimes lunch trash will be left over in the the playground, and it was kind of a windy day, so some of this lunch trash had blown itself up against the chain link fence, and I saw a Doritos bag. It was an empty Doritos bag, and I thought, it has been a long time since I opened a bag of Doritos. Just for myself, just for a snack. And then I thought, how many, if health were no issue, if I was not thinking about that at all, how many of those little snack-sized Doritos bags could I go through and eat the entire thing all by myself before I started to feel like, you should probably stop.
Oh, you mean in one sitting?
In one sitting.
Oh, you mean, but you're talking about like the individual size, the little kids size things?
Yeah.
Where you put in their lunches?
Yeah.
So did you come up with a number?
No.
Okay.
Because I can't imagine a point at which I would say,
yeah, I'll stop.
Okay, I'm done.
Did you have those growing up? Was that part of if you had your mom make you your lunch, did you have Doritos? Was that part of your...
I don't even remember when we started eating Doritos. Probably not until I was in high school. We never had those little bags when I was growing up. I did have to buy them for my kids, though, at a certain point in time. I am not ashamed. I'm ashamed to say this. I'm not proud to say this. I had to start buying those little snack bags because if I bought a big bag and was filling up the little Ziploc bags by myself at 10 o'clock at night, I could eat like a half of a bag.
Interesting.
Yeah, just while I was packing lunches.
I think the reason we didn't buy those, we bought the big thing of chips. And then my mom, I guess, would dole them out,
Your
into
mom
little
with some
Ziploc
willpower.
bags. Yeah. And we had, because they're more expensive if you buy the little ones.
Yeah.
A lot more expensive.
Yeah.
But the one I always liked was the taco flavored. They used to have taco flavored Doritos. Every now and then they'll bring one back and say this is a limited time release.
I don't remember
something.
that. I just remember
they were good.
I remember the
nacho
cheese. Well, just like plain Doritos. There were plain Doritos.
Plain. They had the ranch,
nacho cheese, and Cool Ranch.
Cool Ranch.
Those were good.
Which one was your go-to? Was what?
Probably just the nacho cheese.
Yeah, nacho cheese. Pretty good. Pretty good. I think 7. I think that was the number.
7 is the number of bags?
No. 7 is the number of chips in my Ziploc bag. I think 7 was about the right number. I mean, serious. 7 was the right number for a lunch.
Yeah.
If you had a sandwich, a peanut butter or whatever, and then you had probably just 7 chips, that was enough.
Was it enough? I mean, it's what you had.
Yeah. No, for me, it was enough. It was enough for me. I think actually that might be a higher number than what you'd find in the individual bags these days.
Maybe so. Those little ones.
Mm-hmm. One thing we haven't talked about is Jesse Jackson died.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny because I just talked about him and the whole shakedown from Rainbow Push Coalition.
And the tied that to the Super Bowl Rock Nation.
That's
stuff,
right.
Right.
And then he passed away. We had talked a while back, I think around Christmas time. There was a whole bunch of activity, news activity about Jesse Jackson. I think I told you off, Mike. I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting their, it's called a morgue file, getting their goodbye pieces together. Perhaps that will happen soon. I thought it would happen sooner than this. Anyway, I did like that speech. Was it 88? Keep Hope Alive is a good speech. He gave a good speech. Keep Hope Alive. But I'm a little uncomfortable with the lying in state about anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone who's dead and now been dead for a week.
Yeah.
And not going to be, the memorial service of the service is not for, I don't know, another week at least. And his body is on display.
We do that though.
Yeah, but it's weird. The first person lying in state in the United States was Henry Clay. He was the first to lie in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda.
Yeah.
The first president to lie in state? You could probably guess.
Tell me.
Shortly after that. That was 1852, so.
Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah, it was. Yep. And you know why, in the olden times, why they did that?
Why?
To actually confirm that they were dead.
Really?
Yeah, to show people, he's dead. Isn't that weird?
It is.
Isn't that odd?
I didn't know that was why we did that.
That's the very
Or
beginning.
why it started.
Yeah. And then it became a thing where it's in national mourning. We can all sort of come together and
pay our respects,
that kind of stuff. It also helps for like succession. Like there's nobody's wondering, hey, I wonder if he's still out there really pulling the strings. Again, confirming that they're dead. Isn't that weird though?
So weird.
It starts as one thing. It's like, yeah, he's really dead. And now it's like, I don't know, a thing. I don't like it. I don't like, I don't know. Just seems weird. Seems creepy to like wait in line to walk around. I don't mean to be mean or anything, but to wait in line and to walk around in a circle, a dead person.
Yeah.
Just odd. I don't know.
Is there anybody that you could see wanting to do that for?
You mean wanting them to be dead?
No. No, anyone that you would want to, to pay respects to like that.
That's a good question.
That you'd travel to wherever.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. You?
I don't think so.
It's a little weird if we would not do that for someone. I mean, it seems like someone we're related to.
Well, I don't.
All those, there have to be check marks by all those people first before I would say, yeah, you know.
Well, I'm assuming you're going to go to the funeral of people who are close to you.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the whole lying in state. I thought you were talking about if someone were, let's say, I don't want to say because it's volatile to speak of current political people. But
Yeah.
let's say there was a president or something, and he was lying in state. If I was in town and it was on my way somewhere?
Okay, we might not. We might want to edit this out.
I was on my way. I was on my way to the Lincoln Memorial, and there he was.
Listen.
So I stopped by.
Okay, I'm saying, and this might happen with George Bush. I mean, he's right here where we live.
Would they have him at the SMU library?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would you go for that?
I might.
Really?
I might.
Well, if you would go, I would go with you, maybe. But I don't. Normally, I had
never really even thought about it, but I might.
I have a thing not about death, but you know what I mean. It just seems like an odd thing.
It is an odd thing. I know you were a fan of The Sopranos.
Loved it
when it first aired. I didn't get on the train until much later. By the time I watched it, I already knew how it ended.
Oh, is that right?
I mean, I knew how the show ended. I mean, well, I don't, when it happened, I think that it was impossible to get away from that.
That was a common experience.
It was a common experience. And if you weren't watching it, it was all over the news anyway.
Yeah.
Really hard
You better have watched it.
Yeah. Or you were just going to start it knowing how it ended. But tell me about it. Just very briefly, tell me about the end of The Sopranos.
Well, the end of The Sopranos, at the very end, the last episode, they're all separately the family.
Yeah.
Is not the family, not the mafia family, but just
the core
his family.
Four of the family.
Yeah.
Tony and Carmela and Meadow and AJ. Yeah.
They're meeting at a diner.
I said Carmela.
Carmela.
Yeah, Carmela.
Tony, Carmela, AJ, Jr., and Meadow. And they're all meeting at a diner. Mm-hmm. And Meadow is the last one to arrive.
Yeah.
Anyway, she gets out of a car and she's kind of going toward it. Mm-hmm. And the question was, how did it end?
Yeah.
Because it just, the screen goes to black.
Just black.
And it was really upsetting for real Soprano fans not to have it resolved one way or the other. Right. And then later, of course, we found out that, what's his name? The creator.
David Chase,
about a decade later, told the answer.
In the last few years, he did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was really, really interesting. You can look that up, maybe Vanity Fair. I don't know what it was, but a great interview where he tells what happened.
Well, I'm going to throw a little wrench in that
go.
even. Because the ending that he gave is completely different from, I think, what we have reason to believe might have actually happened.
What is that?
In 2011, when LeBron James was playing for the Miami Heat, and the Knicks, and probably other teams too, were trying to woo him away from the Miami Heat to their team, there was a video released of two New Yorkers who were trying to help LeBron find a suitable place to live should he decide to relocate to New York City. Have you ever seen this video?
No.
Okay, so it was made in 2011. I don't think it was widely known about until maybe last year. And just recently, there's been this resurgence of views for this video. It's Tony and Carmela Soprano in a New York City apartment, not a fancy apartment at all. And they talk about how great it is to live in New York City. And Tony says, especially now that we're in witness protection. And she says, I'm trying to help your friend LeBron.
No way.
I'm looking for apartments to find a great place for him to live.
Okay.
And they look at a few places. And I mean, the only place that they come up with that might be suitable is
the garden.
The garden.
The garden.
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden. Yeah. That's great.
And so they look at each other and they look at the camera, with like a little virtual wink to the camera.
That's funny.
And obviously, LeBron James did not take them up on it. Never became a New York Knick. But this changes the whole trajectory of it changes the whole the whole show.
They didn't die.
The whole ending of the show. They didn't. They went into witness protection and wound up in sort of, if I may, kind of a crummy apartment in New York City.
And she's still doing real estate.
I guess so.
Which really didn't go well for her very much at all.
I'd forgotten about that. Do they call Madison Square Garden the Garden too? Because they call Boston the Garden.
That's the Boston Garden.
Boston.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you love Brady Bunch when you were a kid?
Hold on a second. I think I remember. That was on Friday night, wasn't it?
It was.
Friday night. What time was it on?
7 o'clock.
It was 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Friday night lineup? That was ABC, right?
It was ABC.
ABC on Friday night.
There was.
This was up till, I don't know, the mid 70s.
Brady
so
Bunch?
late 60s to mid 70s.
Did it start in the late 60s?
I was 69,
Really?
I think. Yeah.
Okay. Brady Bunch, a Partridge Family.
That's correct.
Room 222.
That is correct.
The Odd Couple.
That is correct. And then
Love American Style.
That's right.
Yeah,
Love
which
American
was
Style.
probably questionable whether or not I should have been watching that.
We were not allowed to watch Love American Style.
You weren't? I watched Love American Style. There were a lot of things I was not allowed to watch, but Love American Style, I don't remember ever being told that was something that I think we all watched it together. I mean, I think my family.
Nice.
I mean, I don't think my dad cared too much about Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family. Maybe a little bit. There was music in the Partridge Family. Yeah. He liked music.
Yeah,
he liked stuff like that.
How about Dark Shadows? You watch Dark Shadows in the afternoon?
I only ever watched Dark Shadows in the afternoon. I never saw that in its primetime run. But I tell you, that was when I was in high school, and I used to be so anxious for my middle school sister to get home because I was so afraid to be home by myself.
Oh, is that right?
Watching it, yeah.
That's
I
funny.
just felt better when my 12-year-old sister was there with me to watch it.
We did not. We could not watch Dark Shadows.
Yeah,
unless we were at someone else's house.
It was.
We'd watch. I think the Taylors watched Dark Shadows.
It was so bad. I mean, it was so obviously
so corny.
Not. If it was something that your parents might have been worried that you would think was real, there were like boom, like mics dropping into the frame all the time. It was really.
I know.
It was poorly produced. Not so much so that I wasn't, scared to death of it as a 16-year-old.
And basically, for those who don't know, Dark Shadows was like a vampire soap opera.
It was.
It was a soap opera, but the people were vampires.
Yeah, not all the people.
No, not all the people.
A lot of the significant people.
And in fact, I totally digress. But the Taylors across the alley, we've talked about the Taylors before, and I remember we played a prank on the youngest of the Taylors, and the oldest was a girl named Karen. And the prank was, and this I'm sure goes back to Stupid Dark Shadows, that she had put 2 red marks on the back of her neck under her hair. And we were telling, she was purposely acting weird.
Like she'd been bitten.
Yeah. And
that's terrible.
She pulled her hair back to show her younger brother that her neck had been, quote, bitten. Yeah, we were a bunch of
That's
losers.
Terrible.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
It was terrible.
Well, Brady Bunch, I remember that. That's the first show that I know I'd seen. So we watched it all in prime time.
Yeah.
We'd watch it in the fall, and then the reruns would start, and we'd watch them all again. And then it went into syndication, and I would watch every episode that was ever on. I'm quite certain that I'd seen every episode of that more than once. I mean, multiple times. I was a devotee.
That's funny.
But I don't like this news story.
What's that?
It just makes me feel kind of creepy. I don't think you're going to like it either. The Brady Bunch was sort of set for a reboot back in 2016, right before Florence Henderson, who was the mom, Carol Brady, passed away. She passed away in 2016. Okay. Right before this happened, there were talks with producer Lloyd Schwartz, who recently confirmed that Carol Brady was going to be in a reboot of the Brady Bunch in which her 80-year-old character was dating men who were many decades younger than her.
That's odd.
And one of them happened to be a friend of Greg Brady.
Oh,
who then
really?
She goes on to marry.
That's silly.
And that is what the show revolves around.
That's silly. That's all just one episode, like a whole series?
A whole show.
Oh, that's
about,
silly.
What it's like for this older woman to be married to this much
silly.
younger man who also happens to be
a friend
the best
of
friend
Greg.
of one
That's
of her
silly.
sons.
And of course, the dad had died in real life.
The dad had died, yeah. And that's what they were saying this time too. She would have been a widow.
Yeah.
Apparently, Adam Sandler's production company was in on it.
You said
Who knows?
You said Schwartz. Was that Sherwood Schwartz relation?
It
must be.
I kind of remember that Sherwood Schwartz was a part of it. Weren't a lot of these directed by Sherwood?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Schwartz?
You
this
named
was
another.
Lloyd Schwartz.
I'm just wondering if Lloyd Schwartz is the son of Sherwood.
I don't know.
Or something
Let's
like
see
that.
about that.
Son of Sherwood. Let's
bet
get the
it's
band
not.
back together.
I'll bet it's not that. I mean,
Okay.
I bet if they are related, I bet it's brothers.
Okay. Well, that
I'm
makes
guessing,
sense, I guess.
but we'll see. Lloyd and Sherwood Schwartz. No, you're right. Sherwood Schwartz passed away in 2011.
Yep.
Legendary Emmy-winning television producer, creator of Gilligan's Island and The Brady Bunch. His son, though, did work alongside him as a writer, producer, and director on The Brady Bunch and their various reunions. You know, Brady Brides and Return to the Brady Bunch and all of those things. Yeah.
Interesting. Those were fun days, I guess. Seemed innocent days. The days of watching those shows. Brady Bunch, Davy Jones. I like that episode.
Davy Jones.
That was a good episode. Where Peter had his voice changed. Got to rearrange. That was their little silly recording thing.
But I could sing that whole song.
Yeah, I know. It's and then the more her nose gets broken with the football. That's a big one. Marsha. That's a big one.
Yeah.
All those. They were fun. Alice was not that old. They gave her an old hairstyle.
Yeah.
But she was not that old.
Really?
They made look up how old she was when they were taping.
I don't think she seemed that much older than that. Do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I thought they made her look like older.
It's so hard for me to know that now, though.
What do you mean?
Well, because when you think of your grandparents, and how old you thought your grandparents were.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're like the age.
Oh, I know.
That our grandparents were when we thought they were so old. Not because they acted old, but just because they were so much older than we were.
I was talking about before in a previous episode about Ms. Haynes and my fifth grade class. I had people send me a note. Somebody sent me a note and said, hey, I knew them. They lived across the alley from me.
Yeah.
He was a great guy, Dodson Haynes. So going back and forth with some people that I don't even know. And they mentioned who the math teacher was. I won't name her, but her math teacher was. And I remember thinking she was notorious. People were always afraid of her. And she would lay down the ruler on your hand.
Yeah.
She would attack you sometimes for things. Not me, of course, but I remember thinking when I was reading these comments from this guy, I thought, she's probably 20 years younger than I am today. When we were all thinking of her as, really old.
Did you do the math? Did you figure it out?
No, I kind of didn't want to because I'm sure I'm right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure she couldn't have been, she probably wasn't 50. And we all thought of her as, 90.
Oh, I'm sure. I do remember some disappointment when the Brady Bunch was on Nick at Night, and I was really excited because I thought my kids, I wanted my kids to see it. They didn't like it? It just didn't I don't want to say that it didn't age well. They just weren't really into it.
This is probably, we're really far afield, but that's okay. It's a scattershoot. I saw a thing the other day. It was talking about the things you should not have your young children watch.
Okay.
It was something like 10 shows not to let your kids watch, your young kids watch. And you would think, well, that's going to be content-based. But it wasn't. It wasn't that at all.
What was it?
What
were the shows?
Well, I don't even remember what the shows were. But what fascinated me was the reasons why. They weren't saying, don't watch this because it's too liberal, or don't watch this because it's this, that, or the other. It had to do with the way it was training children for their attention span.
Oh, wow.
And it had to do with, in fact, one of them had said, all you have to do is watch about 3 minutes of it and notice how quickly it changes camera angles or different, takes or whatever they call it, right?
Yeah.
And they said, this is training kids that real life is boring compared to this.
That's evil, man.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And it was a real weird thing where they were even saying, this is scientific. The people that are doing programs for kids, they have done studies to find out what is it, almost like Pavlovian, what is it that can sort of keep their attention? It keeps their eyes really wide and keeps them leaning in toward a show. Now, obviously, you can use that for good, I guess, or use it for ill. You could use it for good things, I suppose. But this person was saying, we are training kids to be easily bored with real life, that life is not like that, where every third of a second, there's a different camera angle.
Yeah.
Or 5 times in a minute, or every third of a second, or every 1 second, there's a different camera angle. That's not real life. And so it had not to do with, politics or religion or anything else. It had to do with the brain, psychology.
It's just getting them ready to scroll.
That's right. It was just like that. No wonder they're like this. I was wondering if perhaps the reason why maybe kids today wouldn't even have an interest in those shows, having nothing to do with the content, why they wouldn't like it, but because they're used to a different stimuli.
Maybe
for their attention.
I don't even know if that was the thing then. I can certainly see that now. I mean, I know that movies, if you try to go back and watch a movie that you watched maybe in the 70s, it is apparent that we watch things differently now, and we have different expectations for things like that. I forget sometimes how old my kids are. I was talking to somebody the other day about this, about they mentioned a performing arts center or a community center here in the North Texas area. And I said, oh, I know that place. All 3 of my kids graduated from high school there. And this person said, it's been there that long? And I thought, I feel ancient.
That's funny.
It doesn't often occur to me how long ago my kids graduated from high school, but they
That's funny.
They did.
Oh, we didn't even have time to talk about Jasmine Crockett, but that's okay. The vote is not till next Tuesday. So we'll, right? Isn't that
we
right?
have time.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next time. Also, another one day, a return to radio a week from today.
Coming up soon.
Yeah, next Friday. Tell you about that next week. All right, that is the Wilder Show podcast. Instagram, find us there. Wilder Show Pod is what you will search. If you want to send us email to podcast@wildershow.com. The Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the places. And we're on the TikTok now and again. Wherever you get your podcasts, would you please like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share? And we really do appreciate that. And Lauren, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Da da da
do, 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 do.